Jewish Vilna in Hebrew. He also found the magazine Hakarmir, the first Hebrew magazine.
Kermit was the founder of the Ponar is listed there.
Marcus and Natish were prominent teachers and journalists as well. So there is
The
the grave here. And here is also the grave. It's not actually the grave, but it's Gniza. Gniza. If you remember, it was a big article on the Judaica collection in New York Times somewhere in winter. It was about the huge collection of Judaica, which was told that it's not well preserved and so on and so on. First of all, it's very unpolite. Don't mention in the leading newspaper article that this old collection was saved only because of the efforts of the chief of the director of this book palace, Antanas Ulpis, who got the order to destroy all the collection. And he just put all the material in this church in the basements. He just saved it. So it's incorrect. It was very, very bad article. So after Perestroika, it was the possibility just to recognize that there is such a collection, and it was checked, and there were many holy manuscripts which were not readable, and according to our laws, they must be buried as people. So this is the body of Niza. It must be signed, yes. We must think about it. They're trying to.
Here you basically see people coming back, and they're, like in the old days, they're basically taking care of the graves of their relatives.
They must have died at ill health and they must have always died.
This again is just
There
the.
is the great city and his son.
This again.
Max Weidere. They both were found evil.
This is the father-in-law here of Max Weinreich, the guy who really was the guy who really made Yivo work, and then happened to luckily be out of the country on a trip. And he, when the Nazis marched in, stayed alive, got his family out, and moved to New York. So it's.
And they found Yivo Institute along with his father-in-law. In 1925 it was, along with Dr. Tzemach Shabbat, which was prominent leader of the Jewish community of Vilna, and a wonderful doctor who became the prototype of fairy tale, which every child in former Soviet Union would know, Dr. Aybalit. Dr. All It Aches. All It Aches. Okay? Every child will know the story.
And so the way it's Yaakov or Tzemach, the father had to be Tzemach from the dates.
Shabbat.
Okay.
And this is son. It was father, Yaakov. Okay, no, it was.
We're now at Ponar, where it says from July 1941 through July 1944, the Hitleristic conquerors and their local helpers killed more than 100,000 people, of whom 70,000 were Jews, men, women, and children.
Children, oh, I can't stand. It's unbelievable. I can't stand the sound of German when I hear it.
Okay, those two old plaques.
This is the actual memorial stone here at Ponar. It says memorial stone for the 70,000 Jews of Vilna and the neighborhoods that were murdered and burned in the murder valley of Ponar by the Nazis and their helpers in the years 1941 through 1944. And it says in Hebrew on top and Yiddish down below.
Soviet Army came to Vilna.
After 1940, when the Soviet Army came to Vilna.
It was the special commission to open those mass graves and to account how many victims was here. And after the war in Vilnius, there were 60,000 Jews, approximately. They gathered money, and the modest monument, which with inscription in Yiddish, was found here. In 50s, which was the peak of the so-called fight against the cosmopolitans, this monument, even this monument in Ponar, was destroyed. All the remains were reburied under this hill, and this monument with the red star on the top of it, with a single inscription to the victims of the fascist terror, was built. And actually for 50 years, the same was in Babi Yar and all over. It was Soviet people, it was not spoken. Of course there were books, just fiction books about the experience of the private people. And those who wanted to know, they knew. But people were not educated about this. And there were many generations new, which were not told the word Jew at all. And so it was just Soviet people here and commemorated. And this museum actually was part of the Revolution Museum, and it was built in the end of 60s. It also had pictures of war prisoners, also
The monument was built in 1991.
which said that the executions were by the Nazis and the local collaborators. And so now we will go to
The back of the monument here were in English. Eternal memory of 70,000 Jews of Vilna and the environs who were murdered and burnt here in Ponar by Nazi executioners and their accomplices. This is in essence the first thing that you see. It's the first pit. This is where they burn the bodies.
Got the family together a day, and he ordered
This one more of the killing bits.
They're very heavy iron gates.
This is the path that we just came down and then
Yeah, and they really, I don't know if they could do the block in the back. Sarah, you know that our cemetery,
this is the way it looked like it before they killed people.
Prisoners, which were forced to dug out the corpses were kept. And there were such dugouts here, and there were 80 men, half the war prisoners and half Jews who were found on Malinas, and there were 4 women who were preparing food for them. And they were doing this job. They were opening the pits, taking out the bodies. They were putting the layer of the firewood and then the layer of corpses. It must be in order. It doesn't matter to whom head belongs. Feet belongs, but it must be full figure, figure. And it was such a fireplaces of 8.
This is the inside the museum of the Karaites here in
The story I learned was that the Karaites didn't wear tzitzis. They didn't wear garments with the fringes on them. Instead, they would put them on their mantelpiece in their living room. And the reason why is the Pasuk in the Torah says, you should look at them and remind you of your commandments. So instead of wearing them, which is the way we interpret the
These are
law,
all Karaite.
they hung them on the wall.
Only this.
Notice the prayer shawl has no synthesizer. That's what it is.
And look at this lullaby, please. It's a great invention. They used to keep it's urgent, I think. Michael, come here.
Here, for example, is a cradle, and really what is so interesting about the cradle is that it's against diapers. You don't need diapers. Because the little thing in the middle, the way they place the baby, it's where it goes to the bathroom, it goes into that little pot there, and they just scoop it out with those tools which are in the middle there. So,
Do you know what these tools are?
אין לי מושג, אני פשוט...
הגדול הזה פה על הקיר? אתה יודעת שאתה לא יודע.
אני יודע מה זה.
מה זה?
זה כדי להרליף לכושים.
This is the middle. I must explain you the other thing.
What happened in different areas or
They were so much against adultery. What they would do is they would string them up
Tapestries.
trees that were bent up.
Okay. I just must explain to you, pardon, I must explain to you what does it mean inside. This is the coat of arms of Karaite. And you can see here in on the downs, this is food color for kids in Crimea.
This is the coat of arms of Karaite coat of
And
arms.
here is so-called yatagan. Yes, yatagan. It's such a kind of sword. And here is the shield. So they were used by Vitot the Great.